for joining us today for another episode of What's Your Why Wednesday. Today, I am joined by Bobbi Holliday. She is a loan officer at Great Plains Bank. Bobbi, we all pretty much came into our industry by accident. But what keeps us in the mortgage industry is our why and how it's tied to our professional and personal goals. So, Bobbi, please share with us, what is your why?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Laura, for having me. I love technology for this reason, that we can connect across the world, with anybody with the click of a button. And so it is my joy to be here with you today. I'm going to share my why. But before I do, I want to tell you two important things that's going to give a little perspective into my why before I read this to you. So, first thing is, I am a singer-songwriter. So that's kind of the background that I come from. And I've been doing that since I was 3 years old. I mean, literally singing, writing, and performing it for whoever would listen. And that's still something I actively am doing at the age of 29. I'm still singing, still writing, still doing things in the commercial world more now, writing kind of sync deals for, I wrote something for My Little Pony recently, and just those kind of things I dabble in. So anyway, that's just the legacy that my family on both sides, on my dad's side and my mom's side, has brought, of just this creative spirit to just do fun and creative things and try new things. Okay, so that's kind of a background of me that's important. And then the second thing I would say is when it comes to trends and kind of new buzzwords or new things that people are into, I'm kind of this skeptic in a way. And I kind of put my hands up and I go, okay, wait a second, I have some doubts about this. So for example, when I was in third grade and everybody was listening to NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears, little Bobbi was over there listening to Vince Gill, and I was just had my own kind of thing. And when all my friends would
you've got Freddie Mercury behind you. So
yes, exactly. I was listening to Freddie. My mom totally raised us on the Eagles and Queen and all the good stuff.
Yeah.
So yes, those are important things about me that I just, I really have always wanted to kind of carve my own way and not go with the natural, what I saw everybody doing. And when I heard people talking about their why, this has kind of been a big question, a big buzz question that's come up in the last few years. And you've probably been doing this for a while, but I've heard this a lot. Especially after 2020, our world's kind of this identification crisis of who am I? And so this question has really come to the surface. And so at first, when I heard people defining their why, I was doing the whole, oh my goodness, here we go. What is this about thing? And last year, I actually put pen to paper and I actually wrote a why for myself. And I stuck it on the wall. And I said, okay, I'm going to give this a go. And I will tell you that it has been extremely beneficial for me. So when I got connected with you and I saw your podcast title, I'm like, yes, I want to talk about this because I actually have feelings and opinions and things going on with this. So,
and before you go any further, for the audience that's listening to this, Bobbi and I didn't know each other. So the fact that you had already gone through the process of evaluating and taking pen to paper, you had no idea who I was, and vice versa. We just happened to connect. I saw something on social media and I love to expand my network and my reach, and I reached out to you. So just want to make sure this was not planned. So keep going.
Yes. So, okay. Funny story. Do you know Donald Miller? Have you ever heard of Donald Miller, Business Made Simple? Okay. No. He has this course Business Made Simple, where you go through a module and you start with writing your obituary.
Yes. Well, I definitely am aware of that.
And
Lots
that
of people
practice
take you through that
takes,
journey.
yes,
Yes.
it's like this idea of reverse
Yep.
engineering life, and saying, okay, my life is building up to this one moment. We're all going to face
Yep.
death at some point, and what are people going to say about the life that I lived on earth? And that shook me. That process was very eye-opening, because and that's how my why was birthed, because I'm thinking, if I want people to say this about me while I'm alive, and especially when I'm gone and the legacy that I'm going to leave, then what am I currently doing to make that happen, to create that story? So my why is, I want to create meaningful moments that bring people together. Simple. Just that is what it was a year ago, when I wrote it on paper. And I've reflected on that almost every week since then. Just going back to that foundation of creating meaningful moments for people.
So how are you doing that? Tell us how you do that.
Yes. So in any role that I play in my life, I'm new to the mortgage industry. I just started about 3 months ago. So this
is welcome.
Different. Yes, I love it already. It's fast paced, it's crazy, it's problem solving, and I love it. And I have a really good team that I'm a part of. But that, in any role that I play, so as a mortgage loan officer, as a mother, I've got two babies, as a person standing in the line at the grocery store, my why should be activated in creating beautiful moments for people. So obviously that applies in the mortgage industry, because your home is like the most intimate purchase you're going to make. And it comes with stress and scary things that borrowers are not, there's a lot of uncertainties. And so when you're walking through that process, the role that I play is the guide. I come in and I say, hey, it's going to be okay. We're going to figure this out. This may be an obstacle, but let's try it. Let's give it a go. Let's see if we can overcome this, because we want to get you in your dream home. And so that's the role that I love to play for people, is we're going to try it, and we're going to see what we can do. And that is helping ultimately that beautiful moment, not only to get them into a home, but what are they going to build? The memories wrapped up in that structure and that home for years to come, is we played a part in placing them there. And what better role, that to me is just amazing. And so that is how I activate it as a mortgage loan officer.
I love it. Bobbi, how did you come into the industry, since it's so recent?
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm from a small town in Oklahoma, and I was working we have a technology center. So I was actually helping businesses write marketing plans and verbiage. And that kind of is where my singer-songwriter background came into play, is how can you say the simplest, most impactful thing with the least amount of words? And so I was helping businesses do that. I got pregnant with my second baby. I had him, and the day that I came back from maternity leave, I got a call from the bank president in my town. And he said, I was waiting to see if you're going to go back to work after having your boy, and hey, I want you on my team.
Oh, wow.
And so it was just literally fell into my lap situation. And I thought about it. I literally, he called me on a Monday. I thought about it the rest of the evening. I looked at my husband and I said, I'm going to do it. Went in Tuesday, left my other job that I loved. I really loved that job. Came into the mortgage industry, and here I am. So that's how I got it.
I love that. And I have to tell you, I always enjoy hearing how people come into the industry, because just like I said, it's usually by accident. It is usually not a planned occurrence. It's usually a situation like yours or something similar. And it's very important. I will remind anyone that's listening to us, pay attention to those wonderful people you meet, whether it's a situation like the person that met Bobbi and recognized something special in Bobbi and took action to bring her into his organization. Pay attention for those people. When you're going to get your morning coffee, when you're at a restaurant, when you're waiting at the auto dealership, or you're looking somewhere else, pay attention to those special people that have that great personality and that giving heart that will be wonderful in our industry, because opening the door for those people to come into our industry is what continues to make us special and wonderful. So thank you, Bobbi. I love that story, and kudos to that person that saw something special in you and didn't just say, hey, this woman is special. He did something about it. He acted upon it, and he opened that door for you. And that's wonderful.
Yes,
Love
I'm
it.
very, very thankful too.
All right, Bobbi, I know you've only been doing this a couple of months, but I'm curious. Have you had that moment, because we've all had this moment in our careers where you realize how much of an impact that you had on someone else by the role that you fulfill? So have you had that moment?
Yes, I have. I'm so thankful for that feeling, because that definitely set the tone for, oh my gosh, I'm in the right place. It made me feel like, this is the job that I absolutely adore. And that were two refinances that I walked through with borrowers that we sat down and we looked at everything, and literally, this is just so cool to me. But they were in a situation where they were paying an astronomical amount to revolving credit, and it just wasn't getting better. And by refinancing their home, we put it in a mortgage that was one payment and so much less of a burden on them, where it was a moment with the initial disclosing of saying, hey, this is what we're looking at, and this is what we have the potential to do here, and just tears. And so I'm like, this is so cool, because it really is changing people's day to day, your finances and your budget. That's a heavy feeling sometimes, of thinking, am I gonna make it this month? Do I have the freedom to do some of the things I want to do in life? And when you're able to really see the light at the end of the tunnel, and again, we get to play a part in that, it's very rewarding, and just all together for somebody else's joy and benefit is awesome.
And that's one of those moments in their life, right? Your why is creating those moments, and that is a moment. And the positive effect that we have on people, like you said, taking away the fear when it's their first home purchase, right? And that unknown, and just feeling overwhelmed, right? With going through the process, being that guide, being that support system, and being there throughout that whole process is life-changing. And like you said it, a home is where all of those moments and memories reside. Absolutely. And you're making that difference. So I like to say that we didn't find the mortgage industry found us.
I love that.
All right, Bobbi, you are awesome. You are fantastic. I'm so happy that I reached out to you and you said yes to being part of this and sharing this. And the fact that you had your why already done, that's just phenomenal. I can't even believe. And we wish you all the best in a long, successful career in the mortgage industry. And we're thankful that you are part of us.
Thank you so much for having me, Laura. And I wish the same for you, that you'd be blessed in your journey, and all the best to you. Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too.